established Rich coming right back at you. And today we gotta talk about Sauce Walka and Drake. Because for a minute, this sounded like a real Houston conversation. Sauce Walka has been saying for years that Drake comes to Houston, uses the vibe, gets the love, enjoys the culture, but really doesn't do enough for the artists who helped make the city what it is. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like that's a crazy point. Houston is one of the most important cities in hip-hop history, and it does deserve more than being used as a cool backdrop when somebody needs a little southern flavor on their image. Drake has always had a special relationship with Houston. He talks about it like it's part of his origin story. And to be fair, Houston did embrace him early in a way that helped build his mystique. But that's exactly why people from Houston can ask a fair question. If the city meant that much to you, who from the city did you really help put in position? Not just the biggest name, not just the safest collaboration, not just the artist who already had the whole world watching. I'm talking about local talent that could have used a Drake feature, a Drake cosign, or a Drake moment to change their whole trajectory. That's what Sauce Walka's argument had some weight.
The Drake moment was the moment. That's when I was
Yeah,
like,
a lot of people know me from controversial shit like that. Yeah.
The whack.
I'm going to stand on the business regardless of whoever.
It's funny, though, because you called Drake out for cultural appropriation way before Kendrick did.
I definitely did. And if my whole city would have supported what I was on back then for the reasons that I did it then, we would have got the same reaction that Kendrick Lamar in California did. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a beautiful thing. With, again, no discredit to either one of those artists, because, again, I have nothing to do with that shit, and I don't give a fuck about that shit, because I'm a millionaire, I'm Sauce Walka, and I made it. I beat the blackball of the rap games, of those type of scenarios. But to speak on that particular situation is that it's just a beautiful thing to see the outcome of an entire city and then entire state standing behind an artist that represents them well and represents their culture and just trying to fend for their culture, and the culture itself not trying to mediate or prohibit their artists from fending for their culture, but instead standing behind them and supporting that ideal. And that's the difference between appreciation and appropriation, and that's what creates the bigger landscape of economy and opportunity for that city. Mm-hmm. Because regardless of New York is the same way. If somebody was to come to New York and try to appropriate New York culture and style and not give back to it, like I don't know, it's a good example to use, but because nobody does that in fucking New York. Nobody come to New York and act like a battle rapper or act like a lyricist or act like a fucking drill rapper and then don't do music with the drill rappers.
The main thing is this. Sauce Walka is speaking from a place that a lot of local artists understand. When somebody big comes into your city, uses your culture, builds off your energy, and then leaves without really opening the doors, people are gonna feel a way about it. That's not hate. That's what happens when people feel used. And Drake's been accused of this before, not just with Houston. People have said he knows how to tap into a place, a sound, a style, or a moment, then move on before the local people get the benefit of what he borrowed. Now, Drake fans might just say that's being global. Sauce Walka is saying it looks like taking without really giving back. That is a real hip-hop conversation, because hip-hop has always been about where you from. So when an outsider comes in and gets love, the people from that city are going to watch how he moves after that. Does he build with the city, or does he just use it when it looks good? That's the question Sauce has been asking. And up to this point, I can respect that question.
Don't come rap with, you cannot do that.
You can't
it doesn't make sense. You can't, when everybody was doing this shit and doing that little Jersey dance, nobody from around the world did that dance or made music with, on that sound frequency without acknowledging that it came from those places, or bringing those kids from New Jersey on stage, or and the East Coast is going to govern that. The South was, in Texas especially, was supposed to govern that. And you know what I'm saying? It's cool because somebody got to do it, and I did it. I ain't tripping. Bro.
Don't you think Houston probably looks at Drake different because there wouldn't be Drake without Houston?
I don't give a fuck what Houston look at it like. It's what I said. Mm-hmm. I'm a J Prince too. Like my word is a law. What I'm saying is, what I speak is the real opinions of the city of Houston, the people that's in the South Side, the people that's on the North Side, the people
they felt like that already. Yeah,
they just ain't got the platform or the voice, or they're not gonna get the response that I'm gonna get, and they can't fade the heat, fade the water. Everybody know I got the manpower, got the money, I had the validity, whatever that's needed, necessary from my age then to right now. Just like I've shown people, it's a lot of people that thought I was gonna be an overnight or fly by night artist or artist that, and then you also understand, realize that I'm independent. I've been independent my entire rap career. I've been in the rap game 10 years now, going on 11 years, and I'm a multi-millionaire, still more relevant than majority of the rappers that came out in my generation or my period, my time period. 10 years later, I'm still making all this money and still growing. So, it like if somebody don't make the step or to speak up on it, then I'm just like everybody else, that's just complaining behind closed doors and being scary, or just, know what I'm saying? And then what I was saying, it's not simple, it's not fucking rocket science. It was simple shit.
Sauce Walka's frustration makes sense from a Houston standpoint. He ain't just talking about a feature. He talking about respect. He talking about a city feeling like they gave somebody cultural access, and that person never really paid it back in a way that felt meaningful to the people on the ground. And that's a touchy thing in hip hop, because a city can make you look cool, but the people who created that cool often stay broke, unsigned, overlooked, and stuck trying to explain why their sound matters after somebody else already made money off it. That's where Sauce's point gets deeper than just Drake. This is about big artists using regional culture like a resource. They come in, get the energy, get the language, get the street approval. Then the local scene is left trying to catch up to a moment that they helped create. So if Sauce Walka wants to call that out, I understand it. I may not agree with every word he uses, but I understand why a Houston artist would feel protective of Houston. And that's what made this conversation interesting before everything else came out. Because it put Drake back in that same old conversation on whether he collects culture or celebrates culture.
If you in this city and you saying, like what you just said,
Drake without
Houston. Okay, so at the time, why Drake not, it's still to this day, why did Drake not have no bunch of records with Houston artists? You didn't doing that with Atlanta. If you love Atlanta, and you got, it's 7, 8, 9, 15 artists that you got songs with in Atlanta. Because why?
Yeah.
Not only the city of Atlanta was gonna look at you weird for not doing that, look at you and feel a certain type of way by you not making those moments with that city, but you knew that it was also beneficial for you as an artist to make music with these songs, because the leveling of stardom and momentum, it feeds each other, versus you feel that I'm just the A-side artist that's lifting up this musician. But as for the city of Houston, you looking at it for the market share. All of these country ass people in Houston, they got all of this land, all these clubs, all these women, all these people in these big ass arenas and events that's going on, but they don't have a large community and people that are knowledgeable about the music industry, that have resources that can say, hey, y'all been around this artist and you helped them, you was in the studio when they was making that song, you told them to add this and this on the hook, you get a couple writer points for that. Or you was up in there when you made the beat, you supposed to get, okay, y'all was in you brought him to Houston and you took him to this club and you took him to this hood and you introduced him to Charlamagne. It's a feature and the song come behind that. In every other city, it's a long list. California, it's a long list of artists from the Bay all the way to LA. They got Drake's songs with Drake. So how did Drake love him much at that time and not have music with artists that you are uplifting from this community? Fuck me, I don't care. It's bigger than me. I didn't care about the song with me. You know what I'm saying? But what I would like from then to now, Travis Scott is the only rapper that still got a song with Drake. Travis Scott, again, what I just said earlier, it makes sense. It's an equal trade. It's not necessarily like, oh, bro, I'm helping Houston and changing your life and changing your career. And it's been saying, oh, well, person wants the Drake stimulus package. Bro, fuck all of that. It's about fair exchange and business.
Sauce Walka has a stronger point when he keeps it in Houston. When he talks about the city, the artists, the culture, and the way bigger stars should move when they benefit from a place, that's something people can actually discuss. But then the leaked phone call came out. And once that call hit the internet, it made people go back and listen to everything he said and hear it with a different ear. Because now the question became different. Was this really about Houston? Or was there something personal sitting under the surface the whole time? According to Hot 97, an alleged phone call surfaced between Sauce Walka and the mother of his child, where a voice identified as Sauce Walka appears to make threats towards Drake and also speaks on prior violence against her. The audio has not been independently verified, so we have to say alleged, but the clip has already changed the Drake conversation. And that's where this whole story takes a turn. Because if that call is real, Sauce Walka did himself no favors. You can't be on the phone talking about having Drake's car shot up over a relationship. You can't be talking about women getting jumped and then sound like that's something you willing to repeat. We can't condone violence towards women. We can't condone threats over baby mama drama. And we definitely don't condone throwing your freedom away because your pride got hit. That call made Sauce look bad because it made the Houston argument feel personal. It made people ask whether he was really defending the city or whether Drake getting close to his baby mama made him start reaching for a bigger justification. And that's the danger. You can have a real point and still damage your own point by how you move.
Simple. I don't give a I'ma handle y'all. It's that simple. I don't give a what the consequences is.
Why? Yeah, you handle me. You already handle me. So what the matter? You already put your hands on me. You already do all that already. So what the even matter?
I got you jump by my will put my hands on you though, but I didn't. You got jumped by my black video.
Yeah, because you had me set up. Are you proud of that? Does that make you feel good?
I will get you jumped again. I don't give a just like I get Drake smoked. I will get Drake car shot at. The man, you better realize who the hell. I don't give a nobody talking about.
Okay, you need to calm down.
No, I don't need to do nothing.
Yeah.
Before I embarrass him. It's simple as that. Tell Drake to keep my name out his mouth before I go on the internet and embarrass him. And show him.
Show him what? Show him what?
Now the whole story feels different. The call don't erase what Sauce said about Houston. It don't make Drake above criticism, but it does make Sauce look like he lost control of the message. And that's a bad trade. Before the call, the topic was Drake and Houston. After the call, the topic became Sauce Walka's temper, his baby mother, and whether he was talking too crazy on a recorded line. That's how fast a man can lose the room. If the woman on that call was trying to get him to say something damaging, he walked right into it. A grown man has to know when to hang up. When you feel yourself getting angry, embarrassed, or played with, that is exactly when you have to get quiet. Not because you scared, but because you smart. Drake may be petty. Drake may know how to get a reaction. Drake may have been dead wrong if he was playing with a woman just to get under Sauce Walka's skin. But Sauce still has to own his response. You can't let another man's move make you sound like you ready to catch a case. That ain't standing on business. That's letting somebody else control your emotions. And that's why this situation is so frustrating. Sauce Walka had a legitimate Houston argument. He could have kept the pressure on Drake about what he does for the city, who he helps, and whether his love for Houston is real or just convenient. But that call put a different shadow over the whole thing. Now people are not asking what Drake owes Houston. They asking what Sauce was really mad about. That's the part Sauce has to understand. When you speak for a city, your personal life can hijack the message. When you claim this is about the culture, you can't let a relationship problem turn into a crash out. So I'm going to take y'all out like this. Sauce Walka was right to ask what Drake has really done for Houston. Houston artists have a right to question whether Drake's love for the city has been as beneficial to them as it has to him. But if this personal situation is part of what's fueling Sauce's anger, he needs to separate that from the culture argument fast. Because the Houston conversation deserves better than getting buried under threats, baby mama drama, and recorded phone calls. Keep it about the city. Keep it about the music. Keep it about what Drake does or doesn't do for Houston artists. Because once it becomes about a woman, the message changes. And right now, that phone call changed the message a whole lot more than Sauce wanted it to. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.